So I asked you guys earlier on in the week, maybe over the weekend, for some questions for another Q&A. And as you guys always do, you came in huge with a bunch of great questions. So I'm gonna answer all of those right now. I just want to let you guys know that if you would like to have your questions answered on a Q&A like this, all you need to do is leave a comment with a question on any of my videos, and I will try to get to it. I am starting to get asked a lot of questions, so I may not always get to it, but I will try. You can always stop by my streams. The link will be in the description below, and ask me the question live, and then it's much more likely to get answered that way. So you can do it either one of those two ways. But let's get into it.
What you think about when you're born into a fire?
So Spacewalker asks, what class or skill is the one with a 3D magic circle? That one is called Hallowed Ground. It is a cleric ability, and it hurts enemies who stand in it and heals allies who stand in it. So it's a really, really important skill in the cleric skill line, and you see it spammed all over the place. And I definitely think that it's going to be one of the more important skills just generally in the game. So that one's called Hallowed Ground. Moses Mosetti asks, can you show what the different node stages look like, please? Moses, yes, I have actually recorded some gameplay with all of the node stages in it, and that is a video that I plan on putting out soon, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe if you're not to get that video. But yeah, I'll have a video out that's specifically about the different stages of the nodes coming out pretty soon. Randall says, after watching a lot of streamers, I have seen that they seem to all think development should move in different directions. Where do you think Intrepid should be focused for development? Randall, I kind of think that's a silly question to some degree. It doesn't matter to me if they finish the combat and then get the node system working and then finish in the artisan system, or they start with the artisan and then the combat and then the nodes. It doesn't matter as long as it's all there at launch. That's all. I mean, that's all that really matters. I suppose you could make the argument that they should do combat first, because everything kind of spurs off of the combat, and then once they have the combat done, then they can do all the rest of it in whatever order. So yeah, maybe combat, but then after that, I don't really care. That'd be my answer. Danny says, do you still have as much love for the game as day one? No. I have way more. Way more. They've blown me away with this alpha. So no, I am so fired up for this game. I cannot wait for the day that it launches. I know we're a long ways away from it, but I'm just sitting here every day daydreaming about that day that we launch and we get in there, and there's 300 or 400 or 500 people on Twitch while we build our character and get in and start our journey to become the best blacksmith in Vera and the mayor of some scientific node somewhere. I'm so fired up about it. So yeah, I'm way more love now than them for sure. Stefan asks, why should I play this game over other games like WoW, ESO, and Final Fantasy XIV? Stefan, that is actually just an amazing question, and there are probably dozens of answers that could be accurate. For me personally, you should play this game over those games because you're looking for something new, or because you want something new, because you're tired of the same old formula. Even Final Fantasy XIV, which in many ways has innovated in the space, and they've created something of a new style of game in some ways. In a whole lot of ways, it's just more World of Warcraft with an anime skin on it. And I'm not even necessarily saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, World of Warcraft was extremely successful, so they created something that people liked. So I'm not trying to bag on WoW when I say that. I'm just saying that I would want there to be more options than just that style of game. And it's like every MMO that's released since World of Warcraft has basically just copied that style of game. Not everyone, but a lot. So that would be my answer, is so that you can do something new. Steven is trying to create kind of like a new genre. He's blending PvE and PvP. He's blending tab targeting and action combat. And there's a bunch of different ways in this game. He's blending open world and theme park kind of together, or sandbox and theme park kind of together. So he's creating a new genre or a new spin on the genre. And that's why you should be interested in this game for sure. If you're tired of the other style, or you're looking for a new type of game. Christopher says, do you think there will be a clear difference in difficulty in the different classes? For example, Summoner being really hard to master but more effective if played well, while the Ranger has a rotation of just a few skills but does okay. Chris, sort of. I mean, I think that just based on the sheer number of build types there are going to be, that's almost certainly going to be the case, just numerically, just mathematically. And I think that's going to be one of the beautiful things about this game is there's so many different ways you can go about doing it. With your augment choices and your skill choices and which ones you decide to put on your bar and which ones you decide to put points in, whether you go passive heavy or active heavy and like all of these different things. So yes, I can pretty much guarantee that's going to be the case. Like I said, just mathematically or by looking at, the systems that are already in place in the game. So yeah, for sure. Aiden De Silva says, with the intention not to reset servers during Alpha 1, do you think testers may hit a content drought for testing purposes? Will you guys be able to provide good feedback if you have less features to test? Aiden, that's a great question. And yeah, that's something that I'm worried about. We're definitely kind of already done most of what can be done. I know some people who haven't gotten to play around with the group content, like I've gotten very, very little play with the group content, mostly because every time I stream the game, I end up talking to chat more than playing the game. Yeah, definitely there's going to be some content drought going on. This next week when the servers come up on Thursday, if there's like 6 people streaming it to a collective, 80 people or something like that, you'll know that Alpha 1 is effectively over, even though it's not over until, August 13th or something. So we're going to find out a lot when those servers come back up on Thursday, exactly how much more there is to test and show. So yeah, we're getting close on that. And yes, I think it's a concern. Ricky says, what are your biggest complaints and praises so far? My biggest complaints, I think I've been pretty vocal about these, to a very large degree. I hate the sprint animation. I think it's god awful. I don't know what they were thinking with that. I'm really hoping that like somebody just did it one night at like 3 a.m. and Steven saw it and went, yeah, sure. That's fine. That's fine. Just get us an animation. I don't care what it looks like. It's for alpha. We'll change it later. I'm hoping that's how that went down. And obviously the sliding forward on the attacks, I think that works. It just doesn't work in this style of game. For For Honor, it works. But for something like this, I don't think that, you should have that type of thing going on, especially when you're going to have so many people on the battlefield together fighting. I think it's a bad idea. Hopefully they fix it. At least give us the option to slide forward or not, whatever. As far as praises go, my biggest praise is the same thing I've been saying over and over and over again, going all the way back to my original video with Alpha 1 Impressions, after the verbal NDA was dropped. And that is just this staff, their responsiveness, how quick they are to fix things, how quick they are to address things. It's just, they're incredible in my view. It seems like every time there's a problem, it gets fixed quickly. They're rolling out a fix for it quick. We always haven't had patch notes to know, hey, they said they fixed this, let's go try it. But you get back in game and boom, the thing that you were complaining about is now, no longer a problem. And obviously with this AI controller issue, they knew that they had to get it fixed and they worked their butts off. You could tell these guys were working hard, to deal with that issue and get it out of there. So, as long as they continue to be that responsive and that, responsible about the way they go about, developing this game, I think everything's going to be just fine. Vale says, can you jump off a cliff and blink just before you hit the ground to avoid fall damage? That is a great question. And it's definitely something that I know a lot of people, will try or think of. Right now, you cannot use, skills or abilities while in air. So right now, no, you cannot do that. They also have fall damage capped. So no matter how far you fall, you only take 150 damage. So there's a little bit of a give and take on that. But right now, no, you can't do that. Great question, though. It'd be fun if you could. Jacob says, so this alpha is touted as a technical alpha. Do we have any info about when we'll see more content and balancing? I'm sure the team has several more archetypes late in development, and I can't wait to see them. I'm Alpha 2. That's the answer to that question. they've said we're not going to get anything meaningful in terms of content and balance in this Alpha 1. It's all going to happen in Alpha 2. And I've heard that Steven said that Alpha 2 would be 6 months-ish after Alpha 1, which would put Alpha 2 somewhere in the February of 2022 range. I didn't see him say that, so I don't know that that's the truth. I just heard that he did. So my best guess right now is February 2022 is when we'll start seeing meaningful content and balance changes. B asks, when you stand up, where does your lap go? So B, I mean, why do we park on a driveway and drive on a parkway? Why doesn't glue stick to the inside of the bottle? Why do they call them apartments when they're all stuck together? These are the questions that the great philosopher should be answering, not some random YouTuber. So I think you asked the wrong question, man. But I like it. I like the attempt to get answers to the tough, hard-hitting questions. I just don't have them for you, man. Sorry. Peter Pan asks, what is your favorite food? Have you seen me, man? All the food is my favorite food. I'm a big boy. Mexican food, specifically Tex-Mex, would be my favorite type of food, I guess you could say. And for those of you who may live a little far north of here and you don't know what Tex-Mex is essentially what you would think of as traditional Mexican food, but with cheese on it, like a lot of cheese. We put a lot of cheese on already existing Mexican food, and then bam, we have our own genre of food down here in Texas. And I do love that style of food, but pasta, Italian, burgers. I freaking love burgers. Give me a cheeseburger all day long. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite food, man. I just like food. That's pretty much simple as it gets. But yeah, fajitas and Mexican food in general is my go-to, and I can usually eat it 2 or 3 times a week without any problems whatsoever. So that's all the questions you guys submitted. I want to thank you guys so much for submitting those questions. There were some really, really good questions in there. I'm looking forward to answering the next ones. I do want to let you guys know that here in just a couple of hours after this releases, I am going to be testing New World, the beta for New World, which I know nothing about, not one single thing about it. I bought it last night. I'm going to be testing it live on stream on Twitch. Once again, the link is in the description below. So come by and hang out with us. Hang out with us while we do it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.